Live. I have confirmation, I think. Oh, that's weird. I think I'm live. Oh, was interesting. I think I'm here. Oh, MPS. Hey, good to see you. Somebody sees me, so I guess I must be alive. It's always good to get confirmation of that. It would suck to be doing this stream here and then, some ghost or angel or something pokes its head in the door. You died like 6 hours ago. Damn it. Why am I wasting all this time? Yeah. So good to see you. Started your hardcore publishing career here. That was fun to watch today. And you're not giving yourself enough credit. Your um Svensklish um is just fine. You're This is good. Get drunk or take a deep, breathe in a bunch of stuff from a whipped cream can or something, and just tell yourself, oh, I'm just going to talk all the damn time. It'll go really well. Anyway, so no, this is good. Wow. So we got a couple of people here. You, yeah, but I don't know. It's um I should probably I should probably try out hardcore. I'd like to see what I actually, when you were going through all of the negative perks, I actually got a chance to look at them too for the first time. I could find three that were not going to be too much of a problem for me. I would probably want to take others just to make it more difficult, but some of them were really difficult looking. Um, so, hey, Victor, good to see you. Hope you're doing okay out there, way on the West Coast. Is the weather treating you okay out in the northwest corner there? You have a tutorial. Ah, yeah, yeah. See your stuff too. I'm slowly catching up. I'm not I'm not getting a lot of video time still. Hopefully it's starting to change a little because I've actually been able to do two streams this week, and I spent 15 or 20 minutes starting to write a script. So getting there anyway. Gorgeous today. That's good to hear. We had we had a giant rain downpours, first one we've had in a while up here. So my wife and I decided we would finish cleaning up after the painting project and getting everything into a trailer, taking it down to the dump 20 minutes away from here. And it was just starting to sprinkle by the time I left. By the time I got to the dump to spend the half hour, hauling stuff into the various bins, it was pouring rain. I have a jacket that's supposed to be water tolerant. It's not waterproof, but it was a sponge by the time I got back to the house. So I'm dreaming of little warmer temperatures and sunshine. But June sucks up here most of the months, so it's gonna be probably another few weeks or a month or so before we get some really nice weather. The house paint. Thank you for asking. It's done. Got the second coat on the whole house and the garage and the fence, and finished the last of it up yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. And so today was cleanup day and get the tarps pulled up and put away and all that other stuff. So it looks really nice. Oh, I should take a picture and send it to you guys. It's a color's midnight blue. It looks black from a distance, but it's a tough color. Midnight's blue. I decided, I was, yes, midnight blue. It's so nice. And I finally looked at my wife and I said, I've renamed it. And she's like, okay, what is the color called now? And I go, it's called bow down or shut the fuck up. Because it's such a color in in your face kind of thing. But the neighbors all like it, so I guess that's a lucky thing. So anyway, Yeah, and oh my God, we were smart this time. I know we're supposed to be gaming. I'm sorry, you guys. I'll get back to this here really soon, but um, or we'll start it here really soon. But we were so smart. My wife, we were looking at, so when are we going to start this? And she's like, we got to start it as quick as we can. Third week in May, right after the 17th. The big National Day weekend. We really should start if we can. And I was like, yeah, we should, because if the weather is okay in May, it's not going to be okay in June. The insects are going to come out, and that sounds like, "Oh, insects. What's the big deal?" It's a big deal. So sure enough, I was down there on Monday, I think Monday or Tuesday, and I'm, oh my God, now there's spiders on the wall, and there's early mosquitoes and little flies going, "Hi, are you painting? Can I fly into your new fresh paint on this wall?" And oh my God, it's um, the trim. It's a little odd. We have kind of a white around the windows, but we're gonna need to refresh it. We weren't thinking we were gonna have to, because a lot of the windows are new. It's an old house. It's from the 70s, which doesn't sound old to me, because when I bought my first house, we were like, "Oh, this is from the 30s." But anyway, it's an old house from the 70s that was built up here, and so we've been kind of remodeling and changing some stuff. But it's so the windows are white, but they're not quite what we want. So we're probably going to redo them another white. And then there's an exposed concrete foundation above where the siding is, or below where the siding is, and we're going to paint that a color. And I don't know what that color is. It's going to be an off-white, gray, something. My wife knows about color. I do not know about color. And so when she says this is the right one, I know better than to argue, not because it, causes trouble, but because I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. And every single time I'm like, really? Okay. And then I go, well, no, it should be fine. I look at what comes out and it's like, oh my God, this is gorgeous. So she knows what she's doing. But yeah, insects, fresh paint, not a happy time. So yeah, but anyway. So anyway, I was trying to figure out, what should we do? Should I even bother to stream? Maybe I should just keep working on my videos tonight or something. But I really wanted to get back to a regular schedule, and I had kind of teased about doing the new content in Stanley Parable, which I haven't seen, rather than just kind of running through the other stuff. I had kind of a big awareness thing. I got done with a stream on Tuesday, and I started laughing. I was just shaking my head because. Um, I hadn't really thought about it from a point of streaming. I love to see the game play, but the thing is, with the Stanley Parable, most of most of the game is getting things to think about from the narrator. So the narrator is constantly saying, "Yeah, well, look about this. Hey, here's a snarky comment. Hey, here's a funny observation. Hey, you're an idiot," right? So there's all that input that the narrator is delivering, and I realized by the end of the stream, I'm just kind of sitting there going, "Oh no, you know what he said. You just I'll listen," which isn't exactly, for not having a sparkly personality. This was really an opportunity to not sparkle. So I was so grateful that there was anybody still left on the stream by the end of it. But so I was thinking, now there's no way that I am going to run the second half of Stanley Parable. I don't care what I promise these people. I'm not going to bother with that. But then, about a couple hours ago, I forget, I went in to mess around with that video in the channel, or in the content list inside the studio, and I'm like, oh, it actually got some views after I was done. Yeah, that happens, but how much watch time do we get? It turns out I got like another 5 or 6 hours of watch time. So there's actually people that on purpose went to that stream video and actually spent time watching it. I don't know, but I'm really grateful to them. And now all of you who have showed up here, you brave souls, I'm so impressed. So, are we doing it now? No, I'm still talking, which is stupid. Would you guys like to hang out and play a little bit of Stanley Parable with me? Would that be a good thing? Greg, hello. Yeah, good day, eh? Nye, that's Australian. Good day. I've been away from, oh my God. I've been away from North America for so long. I don't even remember what any of it sounds like anymore. So, um, yeah. Anyway, really glad. My God, you're in Canada. So you're somewhere between like 11 and 2 o'clock in the afternoon, which is really cool. Um, hopefully, hopefully you're not in jail having to watch this because that would suck if they actually put this on in jail. That would cause an inmate riot for sure. Yeah, but I'm really glad you're here. Let's see. Let's go f around with Stanley again and see what we come up with. This is really cool. I started the game ahead just to make sure, to get everything started so that we could get going. Outback Grizzly hat. Ah, yeah. Oh, yeah. I would think so. If you were in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and you had that on in order to go to the wedding, you wouldn't need any other clothes. You just that one alone would be enough to do that. Um, it this game here, it's a philosophy game, really. It's both human philosophy and then game design philosophy. So it's designed it's written to kind of poke themselves and then also poke at players who are playing computer games where, you know, well, use Kingdom Come Deliverance, right? We're like, oh, what about this ending? What about that ending? What about, what about Malishal? Are we going to do that? How are we going to do that? Whatever, whatever, whatever. And our minds trick us into thinking that we are in control and that, well, not that we're in control. We are creatures of free will and free choice, which we may be in the real world, but in a computer game, we still believe that we have the ability to control the outcome when in fact, by the definition of a game, all the outcomes are already there. They're already done. And so it doesn't matter what you do. So like in the Stanley Parable, if you go to, if you go to the right door and follow take the wrong choice and you go through the lounge and you go past the door and then you come to the cargo lift and you decide to jump off, you always die. And it always dies the same way with the same answer. And this is what video games are. And yet we will immerse ourselves in them and stay in them as if maybe something new will happen. And so it's not good or bad, but it's just kind of an exploration of that kind of mind bending, weird stuff. And then there's also Stanley being trapped in this world, then that's a poke at outside the video game realm where now we start asking ourselves about, well, why am I here? And sometimes people will have religions or convictions or a desire for success or something that will give them an answer that says, you're here because of this. But maybe that's not the case, or maybe things are predetermined, or maybe, so it lets you head off into a really weird headspace if you want to and explore around with that. So the closet and yeah, the broom closet ending was my favorite too. Yeah, that was it's good stuff. Oh man. Oh my God, you're all yeah, and just Greg, what you say about KCD, it one of the ways that you butter over how finished everything is and how completely written out everything is to do what Kingdom Come did in terms of taking, making a massive story. It's not even just, well, there's, 800 extra side quests. It's not just that. There's this huge very thoroughly written and directed and acted story that's in there for you. And then they make it so that a lot of the story you won't even see if you just do one playthrough, because there's a bunch of things where they go, um, well, so what about Samin? Is he okay? I don't know. I guess so. Okay. Well, you won't have that whole chunk of the story that we created showing you how we're going to destroy Sabine and all that stuff. And you're like, wait, why would I do that? It's like, well, if you had followed this path, you'd get this enormous, extra chunk of story. So they loaded it up with so much different stuff. You're going to start in the same place and you're going to end in the same place, but only in terms of where the game is, where Henry is, and where his head is, and what his experiences are, and what the player feels when they're done can be very different, many different times through the same play of the game. Contrasting that, if I were to play Witcher 3 many different times, I would still pretty much feel the same way at the end of each playthrough, which is, number one, kind of tired, because it's a huge long game if you're going to try to do all of it. But in the end, the story doesn't really, it's still pretty much a straight arrow. It's like, we've made a story, now it's time for you to discover it, rather than we've made a story and you can figure out which parts we'll let you see this time. So cool stuff. Da, da, da. Side quests. Yeah, 30 hours in the last 4 or 5 series. Yeah, you can. I think I had 34 episodes in my stream, and that was because I just finally was like, not, we're gonna contain this one, because otherwise I could spin for another 3 weeks on side quests and other things. So it's good stuff. Yeah, yeah, the mice and frogs, with the maypole and the bull. There's so much good stuff in there. There is so much good stuff in that game. I just love it. So yeah. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I thought so too. Samin, in my clean playthrough, second playthrough that I'm doing now, um, I just did that quest to get introduced to Samin and then go off with Gnarly and him to do the bandits. I really liked the both of them. They were really enjoyable characters, and I got a really good. That was one why when von Berghoff, was like, "Hey, so is there anything you want to tell me as long as you're here?" And I'm like, "There's a problem with Samin," and I'm like, "Oh, I can't see why I would ever say something to somebody about him." So yeah, yeah, I agree, Greg, and that was really interesting, because that exposed some biases that I have in my own head and assumptions when I do gameplay, and I'm still discovering them. Um, I got a script partway done to talk about the relationship stuff. The relationship stuff was one of the few places in this game that I thought it was actually pretty weak. I don't think they did a good job with it. And part of the reason that I think they didn't do a good job with it, I'm not going to give the whole thing away, is just they had a preference in their writing that is very common in video game relationship stuff, uh, or at least it has been for a long time, where you tend to favor, you say, well, some of these relationships will be really important, but we're not going to let you complete the relationship until very near the end of the game, or at the end point where everything is now crucially decided. Then you can have some kind of a resolution with this person that you're with. And I don't like that. I don't think not just it's well, I like green instead of blue. I don't think it makes sense, and I know that I'm in the minority, and it's just I'm going to be in the minority. But if I were the head of a studio and they said, yeah, and then finally Henry can decide whether Catherine or Hans is who he's going to have sex with right before we go to the final battle, I'd be like, you, I'm going to give you 2 weeks, and you're going to come back and you're going to tell me something that doesn't use any of the words in the 4 sentences you just told me. Because I don't think it's the right way to go. But yeah, that's but other than that, Adder, all the bad guys are pure. Yeah, I thought so too. I was almost crying when Adder got killed. No, I was crying. Just not the quite to the tears point, but that was horrible. And Kubienka, both him and Janusz, I was super protective of them. I'm like, don't you mess with my friends. They're horrible people in some ways, but my God, they're fascinating as well. So, um, Auschwitz, yeah, yeah. Oh my God, actually there were several places where I was just gutted by what I saw. I would just like, you know, how am I supposed to be happy now? So it was they did a really good job of not setting fire to their whole game, but making yet at the same time this felt like such a tragic loss, in lots of different places. So Nye Hanish isn't a perfect guy either. Ratzig, he's incredibly superficial. Von Berghoff, uh, I have voted him in my own mind as probably the most powerful political figure in the game, even over Sigismund and absolutely over Wenceslas, because is he is shrewd and he's cunning and he's very quick to analyze. He's a masterful chess player, in terms of the Game of Thrones thing, where he's looking at all of the kings and all of the players, very quick to say, this guy is my ally until Thursday, because when Thursday comes, it's going to be this other thing. And then I'm going to kind of slide right there, but I'm going to do it in a way where everybody is thinking that's the logical thing for him to do, even though they wouldn't have dreamed of that 3 days ago. He's really, really good. Um, so he's an asshole and I hate him, but, but he's really good at what he does. So, yeah, that's like, oh man. Yeah, yeah, I thought about him too, and I think because he was a manipulator, and I think the only reason I didn't get a similar strong reaction from him was because we didn't really interact with him much. But I have a feeling if they had written him, they probably could have, for better or for worse. It's not a preference of mine, but they probably could have had some elements in the story where Jobst and von Berghoff were found to be competitive with each other. Although I don't think that was what the history was, but I'm not really sure. But yeah, that's good stuff. Sarah, hey, good to see you again. So yeah, maybe in a DLC or something. Maybe he'll pop in. I don't know, but no, it was interesting. This video that I'm working on now is talking about von Berghoff a little bit too, and it was good. Anyway, see, this is more fun. Maybe we shouldn't play Stanley. Maybe we should just sit here and jabber about Kingdom Come Deliverance, because this is good stuff. Um, but yeah, Okay, yeah, that would be. I wondered about that actually. I was like, well, wait, von Berghoff has gone to Hungary with Sigismund. Who is in charge of Trotsky Castle? It's not the Chamberlain anymore. Chamberlain's sitting there halfway to Nabokov in a little pile of dirt. So yeah, it's interesting. Unfortunately, the logical choice would have been Brabant to put him in Trotsky Castle because he's so freaking good at everything. Unfortunately, he's dead. So okay. So Thomas is the guy who's there then. Well, Sarah, your homework then is to go get Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and play that. It's we just got that was the game that I've been streaming up until last week, and it's really good if you're into uh, Witcher, Fallout, uh, those the long extended story games, sandbox adventure games. Um, I gotta I KCD 2. If you haven't played one is good, but the Kingdom Come franchise, it features very unusual combat. It's really interesting, and the story is historically accurate. The landscapes are historically accurate. In the second game, they just made a massive story to work through, and it's I am just so impressed. Yeah, it just pulled me by the nose in all kinds of directions, and I was still willing to play it. So it was really good. So there's a few things that I like better in KCD one. Relationships. I'm not going to go there here, but that was even though it was a much smaller story, it made more sense for me in terms of where it went. Um, but but number two, um, just the writing, motion cap, the the voice acting, circumstances, quest content, funny versus tragic versus man, I no, that this is um, the richest game specifically in the kind of swords realm that I played before was Witcher 3, I would guess. And Witcher 3 looks kind of like a game on rails compared to this. I mean, which is, I still think it's really, really well done, but this one was better written. Well, no, 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 no. Different written, not better, but Hallo, Mariluka. I'm not good for competitive games and shooters. I love shooters, but please don't put me in a room with other people playing them. I'll play the Doom franchise all day long or all year long, but as soon as you go, you know what, you should play Fortnite. I'm like, you know what, you should. It's just not for me. I don't even play MMORPGs anymore because it has people in it, and then people suck. I didn't really mean to say that, but no. Um, all of the ones that are I actually played one one PvP shooter back in the about 100 years ago. I was playing Team Fortress Classic. That was a lot of fun, but never since. I just and now the older I get, the less patience. I haven't had patience for it in 15 years, and it's it's getting worse, not better. But Yeah, Witcher is gorgeous. I, 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 I didn't mean to sound like I was getting critical because, oh my God, these guys, that was, that's still a masterpiece game. Um, the KCD writers, they created a different kind of masterpiece game. So Quake, yes, absolutely. I played, I don't know if, you know what? I don't know if I ever played the original. I played Quake 2 the same month that it was actually released. So, that was back in 1864, I think. I don't know, but yeah. So I played Quake for a while, and then um, I don't know, Doom, Borderlands. Borderlands is a nice hybrid because it's a shooter, but it's a story shooter, and that's fun. And then I have one foot in shooters and one foot in adventure games. So games like Mass Effect, that's a big draw for me. Borderlands, same kind of thing. Will I buy Borderlands 4? No, probably not, because Randy sucks. I don't like him. But yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too. It's, as much as I joke about it or whatever, it's just a reality. Um, oh, you should still give Fortnite a try. Dude, I'm in my 60s. I got no reaction time anymore. It's probably less than half of is it's two to three times worse than it was back when I was 30. So, or 20 was probably a little better, but I was never an elite anything, but I could at least hold my own. But now it's hopeless. I'm sitting here it's like I should shoot that. Hang on. It doesn't work. Um, human frailty gets in the way there. So ultra kill. I have not heard of it. Quake with a combo counter. Ooh, ultra kill. All right. Damn. This is fun. We should probably take a look at Stanley though, because I don't want to. I got to write down ultra kill. This is cool. I should probably weave in, just have evenings or a stream every like once a week or something, where we just hang out and talk about stuff if people want to do that. Um, Wolfenstein New Order. Is that relatively new or has that been around a long time? I don't remember a Wolfenstein release lately. Space Games, X4 Foundations. I tried so hard, man. I played X4 for a couple hundred hours last year. It was really interesting and it was really fun, except when I couldn't figure out how to do something and the game was of no help. Um, or it ended up there were these like weird little glitchy things that were in there and it finally it got I suddenly realized after playing it for a couple of months that you know what, this isn't fun because parts of it are really exciting and really fun and other parts are just really frustrating to the point where I'm just like I can't get past the frustration um, in order to enjoy the fun parts. And so I just put it down. I'm like, I know that, there's a hardcore group of people that play it. I've talked to some of them. Um, but in the end, um, I don't know whether it's my impatience threshold or whatever it is, but I just couldn't stick with it. And it really bothers me because parts of it are really, really cool and fun. But it didn't work for me. New Order's 2014. Yeah, okay. I thought that might be the case. Yeah, Yeah, I vaguely remember that. I actually started X4 Foundations for the first time a few years ago, and I back in 22 maybe, and I got so busy at work, and we were just like 24/7 for ages, and I racked up a whole bunch of hours on it because in I had it running in the background because I was in the middle of a tutorial and I didn't want to lose my place in the tutorial. And so then 2 months later, I come back and I bring up the Discord that I have for work and personal, and I look in there and I'm like, I'm playing X4 Foundations. No, I'm not. What the hell? Because it's just it'll in Discord it shows what I'm up to. And so I'm like, no, this is what? So then I'm like, oh my God, it's still sitting in the background on this game going, I'm waiting. And I'm like, I have no idea what I was even doing. So I just switched the game off. And then it was another like 2 more years before I got a chance to actually start it up again. But yeah, I ended up joining the X4 subreddit and got some good help there in places. And I think um, yeah, yeah. I feel like I kept feeling like I was walking through an empty house and one of the rooms in that house was full of chocolate chip cookies and any minute now I was going to walk in and get the cookies and I never really found the room. I still believe that the room is in that game, but I don't think I was looking on the right floor or in the right place or something. So I haven't deleted it. It's still sitting there. And maybe someday. But yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Yeah, that's my go-to game when I just want to waste time is still Fallout 4 after all these years and but I haven't had much desire to start that up. I think it might be kind of fun to do a series where I'm kind of using Fallout 4 to kind of yeah, play through the environment but kind of do it in a different way and focus on ignoring all of the people who are supposed to be the power brokers and that kind of thing. But at this point, I have so many other things that I'm already thinking I really want to do this right away that I don't know. We'll see if that ever comes up. But let's see here. Okay. So we've gained and lost a bunch of people. For those of you who are still here, I hope you're enjoying this at least somewhat. If you aren't, then you have only yourself to blame. But I appreciate everybody's patience. Let's go check out Stanley. Um, just make sure we got everything running here the way that we should. Yeah, I got involved in it for the first time in Fallout 3 was the first one. I've never played 1 and 2, but I played 3 in New Vegas and 4 and then I bought 76 and then I played it long enough to go, "Oh, no. No, thank you. You can have this one back, Todd." So, not my thing. It's got real people in it. So anyway, but Fallout 4 for some reason that's just I go in there and I feel so comfortable. It's not even like I love every minute here. It's just like it's like wearing an old pair of shoes. It feels really good. I'd like to see Fallout 5, but I think I'm going to be 107 when that one finally comes out. So I'm probably not going to be around for that one, but we can hope, right? So okay, so one of the things that we need to do here, and this is what happens. You don't get the screen for um, hey, welcome to Stanley Parable. What would you like to do? The first thing you get is this thing that says, please enter the current time. Um, And we're going to do that because I like to be helpful. And the current time is 20:39. Oh. There. Okay. Oh, it's still here. Good. Oh, yeah. Same time there. It's incredible. Yeah. So now the game wants to talk to me. Thank you for setting the clock both times. Isn't that nice? A lot of people don't take that step seriously. Just leave it at 12 and they move on. But you're actually taking the time to set the clock. I appreciate that. See, that's so sweet. That's how I know that you care about this experience. You're paying attention. This is something, this is like, it's so earnest and sincere, and you could just feel the spoon stabbing you in the arm underneath it. I just love this. Actual dimensions of a 2x4. Not specifically, but almost. I don't even have any way of knowing if the times you're setting are correct, which is fun because, of course, they could know that, but not the person who is talking to me now. I'll make you a deal. Okay. So, as a reward, I can just set it to anything I want. Go ahead. Pick whichever time you want, even if it's not the correct time. You've earned it. Oh, God. So now we can go play. And there we are. Right back to the start. Yeah, there is some Monty Python stuff. Is there anybody here who wasn't here yesterday? You raise your hand because I think they're going to show me the opening scene again. If everybody's seen it already, I don't need to do that. Okay, Greg is. So we'll just start the game as if we haven't done it yet. And I don't mind because I really enjoy the beginning here.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And
Stanley was happy. Really.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
And I got an achievement because I quit the game and then started it a second time. Yesterday, I got 2 achievements. One was for clicking on a specific door 5 times, and then the other achievement was for getting an achievement. So, yeah. Yeah, that's... Whew. So anyway, here we are as Stanley. For those of you who have not seen the game before, this is a game where you just kind of follow along.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
And the narrator will encourage, direct, and criticize everything as you go. So we need to go to the meeting room, which means we need to find the meeting room. Oh! No. Do we have... Yeah, okay, there's a new content door. Tell you what, since we have some new people who weren't here before, I'm going to do one playthrough that is the correct playthrough, where you get to beat the game, because that's what everybody wants to do is every game. What do we have to do to beat the game? So we just do that. It take a few minutes, but if you haven't seen, we didn't do this yesterday or Tuesday, so this will be one of the new endings. Then we'll come back and we'll start the new content.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
So he entered the door on his left, which you could do that. You could go the wrong way too. In this case, we're gonna do everything quote unquote right. There's no right answer. There's just different choices, but it feels like there's a right answer.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Oh man. Holy cow. There goes my favorite ending there. We go
Coming
up.
to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
So we're going to walk upstairs. We're just going to do what we're told here. The idea with the game is that you don't have to do what you're told to do. You can do any number of other things, and most of the time the any number of other things have already been considered, and they've written surprise endings or solutions to all the weird stuff that you think you're going to break the game with.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him?
Totally in
What
disbelief.
he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk
This one
guarded
here.
the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him.
Really?
And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Was it 2845?
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
So then we go down, because... Yeah. Oh, Kevin Brighting, he is a genius, and the writing is really good for him. But yeah, he's wonderful.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
There's that kind of level of sour, snappy inside the humor.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
And then there's lots of other pathways all through the game that you can decide to take instead of the right answer, of which there is no right way. But there is only one way that you're going to get an achievement that says beat the game. That's what we're going to do this time.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Boomed in the darkness. Yeah, it's crazy stuff. One of the you see the catwalk up there. One of the other pathways in the game ends up having Stanley show up here on that catwalk by complete failure accident, and the narrator is freaking out because he doesn't know what went wrong, but for some reason Stanley ended up there when he shouldn't have, and it was too soon. So lots of connections between different different elements in the game.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Freedom means nothing.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
No, couldn't be.
No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
And yet...
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
So here we go. Now we were here yesterday, Tuesday. But when we were here last time, we decided we would turn the system on and take over the mind control facility. And what ended up happening is that that instead triggered a detonation sequence where a nuclear explosion blew up the whole everything, and Stanley died. Of course, then at that point, Stanley restarts back in his office again. So different, and that's kind of how it works. But let's watch and see what happens here. Now we're gonna go ahead and turn that off, and we're gonna shut down the machine. We're gonna free ourselves from the mind control machine.
Blackness, and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Is it just a movie screen? No.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
There you go. We beat the game, and Stanley is happy. But wait, I thought we beat the game. It actually, back when I first got this game and I had been playing through, a relative of mine who told me that I definitely needed to play this game because my mind was twisted enough that this would be really enjoyable for me. And the thing is, one of the pathways that you go through when you're going the wrong way repeatedly is you end up in a room where your wife, who is actually just a placeholder mannequin, because who would ever be married to Stanley, right? But they explain that what this whole game is about, the Stanley Parable, is that Stanley had this job and he was doing this job in this office. And it was horrible. And so in his mind, he imagined a room with two doors, and he could choose which door he went through. And so instead of just being, instead of having somebody say, press D, press M, go through the door on the right, he could make his own choices. And then he started to imagine what would happen every time he went through one of the doors. And this is what became the Stanley Parable, was him having all of these endings. Every time he made a choice, he would go through and this would happen and that would happen. And I didn't realize until about a day after I had played this game, because I was like, you beat the game, but then you end up back here. And I beat the game pretty early on. I think that was the first or the second thing that I had done when I first played the game. And about a day later, I was like, yeah, beat the game. Why did I get these? I beat the game, but then I ended up back in the office, and suddenly it hit me like a brick right in the middle between my eyes, where I was like, oh no, beat the game. That was just one of his endings, where he, he imagined, and then I would get this machine and I would shut this machine off, and I would see a beautiful meadow, and I would go out in the meadow, and I would be free, and I would be happy. Anyway, let's try the next one. So that little feeling of rightness and reward and all that other stuff, it was just one of the predetermined endings, and it's no really better or different than any of the others. And my God, that crushed my spirit for a while. I was just like, oh no, I want that to be meaningful. I was like, yeah, well, not this time.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Yeah. That's the truth there. It can be a problem or it can be a coping mechanism. In terms of how to break the dream loop, jump over and that's actually one of the endings in here, covers that. It's near the end of Tuesday's stream. If you wanted to, you could jump over and check that video out, because it's there. But
new content? What does that mean, new content?
Oh, I have to check something here real quick. I apologize, but something here is not working right. It says spacebar. It says jump. That's interesting. So I'm trying to jump. Oh, there. I got my achievement. You can't jump. No, seriously, we disabled it. I saw this part of it, and this was the only thing I saw, but there was a reason I had to disable that. Other than this, I haven't seen anything. Okay, new content.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful.
Oh
I'm
my
very
God.
excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
You know what this reminds me of? About 1,000,000 years ago, my wife and I, we went to Dublin, and one of the things that was, no, it wasn't 1,000,000 years ago. That was some years ago. And one of the things we wanted to do was we wanted to visit the Guinness brewery. And we were innocent lambs. We did not understand. So we went to we found the place. Yes, they have tours. We walk in, and the Guinness brewery, now that it's owned by Diageo or whoever the hell that is, multi-international corporation, there's nothing there. So you walk in and it's like, hey, this is what this would be if it were a factory. It's not a factory, it's a marketing display. See, you're not literally on one of those little trains that goes around and shows you things, because a train would have cost too much. So they basically just have a display that you have to walk through, and then at the very end they whisk you up to the top of this tower where they give you a pint of Guinness and then kick your ass back to the curb. So in retrospect, that's exactly what we were going to get. So, it's not like, oh, that's a surprise. No, it wasn't a surprise. We just weren't paying attention. But that is what that just felt like to me. Okay.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
Okay.
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere? Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on
Maybe
to
they
the
will.
new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
Maybe I'll get to feed animals with meat.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, miffly tedious. It's as if them... Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Roasted garlic hummus. Yeah, that sounds really, really good. Okay.
All right.
Now,
All right, let's see.
all right.
It's
This was
the jump circle.
this was the part that I saw. Sure enough. So this is where it is. Press space to jump. Can't jump here. But we've made it so here you can jump. Jumps remaining 29. Can't just hold it. We got to get to the end, though. We got to figure out if this is real or not. I can't jump anymore. That is a great start. Oh, this makes me happy. I worked in little interactive museums a little bit where this is what the very fancy stuff that the tourists see. This is what it looks like in the back.
Is that it?
What?
Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
Yeah, okay, so it's like another floor or something, or what?
Goodness, another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could counter 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait, there's more. Very good.
Ah,
yes.
see, there we go.
I knew there had to be something else.
Man,
Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
They've seriously triggered the narrator here. Okay. Thank you for enjoying.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations.
Oh my God.
If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game?
Oh
and
my
we'll try
God.
to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Wow. Oh. That was not a skewering. That was a saber assault. Oh, okay. Wow. That was what the hell? Oh my God. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go on Twitter and I'm going to sort them out. You do that. I'm going to go on his YouTube channel. I'm going to leave him a nasty comment. 427, yeah. 724 desk. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Psst. Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
Sunset Magazine. Okay, that's interesting. All right. There's a little wrench. Coffee nut. And a screwdriver. Oh, yeah. Ow.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, It got
Yes.
me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
Okay. Secret. It's beautiful. Narrator, you've done a great job. In what the hell have you done?
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
Yours today for... Oh, that sounds kind of... Every now and then the narrator goes to a really human place where he sounds really vulnerable. And that's really interesting. He's not human, but he has humanity. Or something. Okay. Oh, this is from the Beat the Game ending that we just saw. Interesting.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the memory zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Oh, how funny. Stanley Parable, The Last of Us. Oh my goodness. Little postcards. Narrator. The Stanley Parable by the narrator. Look at you. There's something so childlike and hopeful about this kind of thing. Again, it's a vulnerability. There's just, you know, smile because it happened. A trip down memory lane. Look, CDs. Those are flat plates, kids, that used to be used to hold data. The first dollar. Demonstration. Begin the demo. Oh, heck yes. Don't play for 5 years. Yep. That's coming due for me in October. I'm going to wait until November, and then I'm going to go get that achievement. It is impossible to get this achievement. Oh, interesting. New video game releasing today at the New York Times. Sorry. Of course. Creators surprisingly down to earth. Deals tough choices. Yeah, there you go. Martiella and Dead Stanley.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was.
Wow.
It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Extra things. Yeah, I'd have to go offline and look at the recording of this to actually see what the images are. Person of the Year, Stanley. Wow.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't
Really?
need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone. to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
The top 10 memories from the Stanley Parable. The serious room. Okay. Well, can't jump, so I don't... Oh, this is something from... Alright.
These were simpler times, Stanley. What I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again.
Yes. Also, pixel art for your clip art documents, and yeah. Okay.
Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before.
Uh-oh.
What's this? What's down here?
What he says with the crack in his voice. This dude is good.
Oh no. God no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at
Horrors.
these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Yeah. Absolutely they were. Those that aren't AI generated, at least.
Honestly,
Oh,
I
did I
could
say
not
that out
bother
loud?
to
I'm
play
sorry.
This game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Oh man, what a bleak and unyielding place this is. Good heavens. You can almost smell the rot in the air. Wait, what? There's somebody basing out in the truck. Oh man. Yeah, okay, here we go.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me.
For me, too.
Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record.
Yeah.
I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
This sounds like an after-school special learning moment here. Probably not, though. You have no idea when I see this how bad I want to jump on top of those boxes. It's something about trained behavior. Yeah, okay. And then, oh, okay. All right. Uh-huh. So we're not coming back from
What's
here.
this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then... Then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt.
Right,
Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Oh. Okay. Wow, all right. No.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No, 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 no. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so, now you see...
I don't think I have the patience to listen to the whole thing.
We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 240...
Dear Lord, shut up.
Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps... Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam review. Or
Certainly they will.
Some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place. I guess I should become better educated on exactly how Steam works. Perhaps that would have been the smart thing to check on before I went about this whole exercise of making the skip button. Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, surely whoever it is runs Steam will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one's review, merely because of this very situation. Yes, I think that's quite likely. Or perhaps they'll simply grant this particular user...
Oh, dear Lord. Okay, now I got you.
Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's... Well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of here?
Okay.
Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room? I do feel quite certain that there was one here before.
Yes.
How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door. Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times, and there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button, and if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here, and more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again.
Like that.
Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again.
Oh, the plant.
Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here.
2 weeks.
Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always?
Oh,
Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing?
This is so
Me
weird.
just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving.
Man, this is strange.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything
The
we've
leaves
been
have
through.
dried up.
I've had so much time.
How
I stopped
long?
keeping track after a year.
Oh
Have you
my
ever
God.
sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past.
Wow. Holy cow. The fan is starting to wheeze. I don't know. Is there a high-pitched noise? I can't really tell. Is that thing beeping? It's not important, but I don't, my hearing is not good, so I feel like it's making noise, but I can't tell. I don't know. Maybe not. Oh wait, no, there. That I hear. I think I invented it the first time. Oh my God, the clock is off the wall. I think we've lost our narrator. That's just desiccated now. It's been some years at this point, if it's accelerating a lot. I do that a fair amount. I actually, I'll see something or I'll get an idea in my head, and then, because my ears are kind of broken now, I'll get some flavor of tinnitus that creates that. My wife was really mad about, because there was a smoke alarm that was making noise, and so for about 3 weeks after that, I heard it beeping even though it wasn't beeping, because, you know, why be normal when you could be absolutely insane? So yes. If you identify as black, the smoke alarm will beep. Not sure what that means. We go forward.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability, it's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review.
Mad
so
about
here's
that
what
review.
We get these demands that seek everything and are
I understand that. You get one bad comment and then okay, so that's not functioning anymore. The clock is on the ground. The fan isn't moving. At least not that I can tell. Damn. Yeah, that's right. Because it's not like this was, a few minutes ago. This is like 100 years or something, or 10 years, or 20 years, or whatever it is, and he's still bent about. And then that guy called me trash. It's just is that the button that's humming now, I guess?
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
Now he's leaving.
End is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end.
Oh my God. And now we're done. I hear water. Wow. Oh. It is the pipes that are leaking. I think, yeah. Well, if I had some duct tape and was able to climb, then I could see about fixing that. Wow. And Stanley is now alone and frozen, trapped in this. I can't eat. Ah! Whoa. Okay. I don't even know where to go with this. Wow. Yeah, definitely not the burgers. Couldn't have been the food. I don't know why my YouTube channel died. My videos are super engaging and exciting. I know that. My girlfriend said that they were. And I like them. I think I'm really funny. Anyway, wow. So I can't, I can't get out. There's no way to get up there. Wow. Man, this is messing with my head here a little bit. Ah! So cool! We've really been here a long time. Yeah. So the metal's rusting, but it's still there, so that, okay. Wow. Oh, and then they put this beautiful verdant music. We got birds chirping. And you think, if you think about what it looked like on the outside when we came in, it was like this industrial wasteland. But this is at the very least a reflection of what's outside the building right now, which is kind of interesting. Portal 2, yeah. Also, I don't know if you're on the planet and you haven't played Portal and Portal 2 and you're a puzzle type person, you should definitely do that. Portal 2 also is a masterful story. It was funny, you know, Valve releases Portal the first is just kind of I don't know, well, slap it in a box and we'll see how it does. And then the second game they were like, actually, since that was so popular, let's make a real game. How amazing could we make this game? And it turned out the answer was really amazing. So I've played them both, so there's not much point streaming them because all of the amazement would be lost. But anyway. Stanley Portable. Portable. Yeah, I know. Wow. There's still no way. Okay. Yeah, okay. Man, if that still is a verdant forest, then it sure doesn't sound like it. You know how the narrator in this game talked about amazing new content and it was a jump circle and an elevator? I think if they made Portal 3 at this point with as ridiculously famous and overpopular Portal 2 has become, I think there's a lot of people who would be like, what is this jump circle and elevator crap? You know, why couldn't you guys have amazed me just the way you did in the last game? So, definitely played Half-Life 2. I think I played Black Mesa. Half-Life was and still is one of my favorite shooter experiences. I played the original Half-Life again right as it was released, and that was really, really amazing. That was just the coolest game ever, and I've never quite let go of that feeling. So yeah. Huh? No, no, I think this would not be our stopping point. Thank you very much. Stanley's going to get eaten by something he doesn't want to get eaten by. Okay. So that is not a good sign. And this... Ha! Oh! Oh, we get to go out. Yes, tell me. Tell... Oh. Oh, damn. Can't go up it. Oh, Stanley, you lived too long, man. There is nothing left for you now. Jeez. Wow. What am I thinking? People say, I wish I could live forever. Here on planet Earth? Make it so. So, you get to witness the rise and fall and disappearance of the human species. Then you get to watch an asteroid take out 95% of the life. Then it grows back into something else. 8 or 9 billion years later, the sun goes nova, wipes out Earth. Well, you're still alive because you wanted to live forever. But forever's probably going to, you know, is that going to run out in 100 billion years? Or is the universe just going to expand forever? Or collapse back in on itself and cancel time? And then, you really want to live forever? No. Well, I just wish I could see the future of the Earth. Well, there you go. I don't know what I'm thinking. Wow. Holy effing cow. That was surprising.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
They're probably
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
playing the extended content that this game has graced us with. Yeah, well, see, Mr. Mikulio, that is the best answer. It ain't about forever. I don't want to get off the ride yet. Yeah, that's understandable, but...
Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Okay. It's not this way. Billions of years is a long time. But if you were having fun, you still wouldn't want... Oh, okay. Yeah. That's the thing. More new content. Okay.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable.
Have you
and
now?
about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
Wow. Yeah. You know what? Even if we become spacefaring, we'll disappear eventually. Humanity's not an endpoint. It's just a
Calling
thing
it
we
the Stanley Parable 2 is just so
happen to
much
be.
catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe?
427.
What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's
Investor
future-oriented.
showcase.
It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
I noticed the Scandinavian languages are not adequately represented here. Hello. Can I go through here? No. Investor showcase. This is the investor showcase here. Photos. Off painting. K. Okay. And a bunch of post-its on the other side of the glass. Okay. Så två. Oh, på toppen. Up at the top. Swedes. God, I hope Jackie's not here. Oh, wait a minute. You're Swedish. Oh my God. I've insulted everyone. Mikulio, you're Swedish also? Do either of you guys speak the kind of Swedish that is vaguely close to Norwegian? Because if that is the case, then I would be slightly able to understand you. But there's a lot of dialects in Swedish. I have noticed that I may as well be listening to people speaking Hungarian. Also partly because I'm not that good at learning new languages. I thought I was, but I'm not. I've learned some. Okay. They're back. 2 doors. New content is out. New content part 2 is in. Old and busted. New hotness. Cool red section of the chart. Boring sections of the chart. They clearly learned a lot from their original office meeting room. Yeah, see. More TSP, better TSP. What is TSP? The only TSP I know is trisodium phosphate, and that's not helpful here. Paradigm shift, synergy, brick and mortar approach. Envelope client-centric marketing, the color red. Leverage, holistic value, 1 to 2. Sequential mind share. Yeah, I am in favor of all of that because that is very clever, because only someone with a master's degree in marketing could have come up with that. Yes. Stanley Parable 2. Twice the brain. Oh, and the fern. 2 ferns between them. There's a man named Zach. Did you guys remember to use our knowledge of the fern from the first playthrough? No, me neither. I even called that out this time, and I swear every single time I have played the first version of Stanley Parable, I have told myself I am so going to remember about that fern, and then I do not until the next time I play the Stanley Parable and realize I totally forgot about the fern.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to
No,
be.
but
let's
that's not
take a look at
important.
some of the features I've been developing for it.
Yes,
I
please.
figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the
There
game will
you
sort
go.
of
Thank you,
naturally
Sarah.
spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Okay. 2 times the action, yeah. The end is never the end again. Oh, good. We're going to have a scrum to begin. Design, pitch, break, pitch, design. Number 2, chat. Oh, Lord. Oh, my God. If there's anything, they should show schedules like that to people who are thinking, maybe I should go to college for a computer science degree. You're not going to be programming, you're going to be in meetings. Anyway, 2 eyes, ears, nostrils, arms, legs. Yeah. Okay. Well, this is fun. Two. Okay. Oh, here we are. This way to the show floor. New content, new features. I can't sit here. Oh, there's a bus that will take us to new content. Ville. Okay. This is pretty much par for the course. You know, it's going to be amazing, and we're going to build a sports hall and a shrine to how amazing it will be, and then we'll fill up the ideas later. It's like, oh man, this looks like the Nike campus in Oregon.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Okay. Merch, of course. The button that says the name of the player that is playing the game. That's new. Hear your name in the game. What was I just playing where they did that? RimWorld. RimWorld used the real names of...
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people.
Absolutely.
So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Road to the perfect... It's just right. And it's exactly the same. Oh. Hear yours today. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right. Impress me.
Jim.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim. Sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now? If so, then please step forward and press the button.
I am so Jim. Yes. If I'm not really feeling it. I guess I'm feeling it now.
Yes, you see? What a thrill, what a rush. That was you. The button described you. Do it again, do it again.
Okay. I'll do it again. Oh my God, that was kind of thrilling to hear my name. Jim.
It hits even harder the second time. If
This
this
is
were
great.
the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth
I
the
would
money.
pay $35
Let's take
just
a
for
break
that
from
button.
the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation. Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much Jim. I'm putting the Jim button away.
No.
Otherwise, soon
Don't.
you'll start to lose all sense of who you actually are.
No. Damn it. Ruined my fun. You evil thing. That wasn't nice at all. So now what? I have to go all the way back out again? Can I go through here? No. I guess I have to go all the way back out again. This is like Kingdom Come Deliverance, where I'm like, no, I guess I better try the other castle over there. And all the people that are watching me are like, no, please, go back. You just missed the obvious door.
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
Epilogue. No, we don't want that. Please, no screenshots. Look, a whole new office with new carpet. That's new. Red is the new orange. Okay. Jump circle. Infinite hole. Dear Lord. Free, new, and easy achievement. I can't believe it's that simple. I wonder who Stanley was. I never actually looked into whether he was part of the team or just some random.
Now, here's something
face.
special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well,
Yeah.
I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes.
Okay.
You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as that.
Really?
Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
Yeah, I promise it will. Is yeah, a little kick there at not just unpromised features, but now we know that you should be able to not drown by standing on dry land. We're gonna patch that.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
But we appreciate your pre-order in any case, and within the next months. we'll be
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Step-niece. Oh, this one just speaks to my heart.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along.
Oh,
Happy
yeah.
12th birthday, step-niece it is.
Oh my God, that's like asking your partner says, where do you want to eat? Or do you want to have this for dinner? And you go, oh, I think I'd like this. And they go, right, yeah, oh no. So what we're going to do is,
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, No, I've made my
Nope.
decision. We're
Nope.
moving on.
Okay, the infinite reassurance bucket. Okay, where was the infinite hole? I thought we were going to go see that, and then it didn't show up for some reason. Well, there's the infinite hole. Oh, there's another jump
You know
circle.
what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle. Oh well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece then.
Oh my god. Oh, okay, I went that's why I didn't see the infinite hole. Distant future, distant space-time, hole-like infinity, oh, okay. So in between space-like and time-like, you get hole-like. Good. Opening, rim, surrounding area, depth. And then, you know, that'll be accompanied by a musical event horizon. Science. More. That has a portal feel to it. Or it just keeps going. All right. You're not going up there, that's for sure.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Okay.
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward. Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel. Okay, and I guess we're back in the hole now. Did you really need to see it again? I don't know what else there is to say, Stanley. It's an infinite hole. It's exactly what you're doing right now, but forever. There really are so many other fascinating exhibits that I've prepared for you. I really spent quite a lot of time on all this, and I would very much like to show you some more of them. How about we go ahead and press that teleport button again so we can get back to what's really important about... Oh, goodness. Well, this is rather embarrassing, Stanley. I'll be honest with you. I truly did not believe that anyone would actually stay in the hole long enough to hit the bottom. Yes, I know. I told you the hole was infinite, but come on. Who actually wants to fall forever? The hole was plenty deep. It was more than deep enough, in my opinion. Maybe it's you who likes falling too much. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
I want this to be a jump circle. Why can't I have a jump circle? All right, I'm going to give him just a few seconds. You know, the thing about like in the employee lounge when he says he's done when he says it, but maybe not, but I'm not waiting there for 45 minutes burning video time here for no reason. That'll go over really well. 8 hours of watch time there, Mr. Boomer, while you sat in that little hole and waited. Unfortunately, you didn't have any audience after the first 3 minutes. So your watch hours are 0. Still, that was fun. That's new. What was this bucket thing? I gotta go back and get that. The reassurance bucket. That rings of a portal companion cube. The hole has more to offer? Of course it should. Why didn't I think of that? No, no need to answer that. But yes, of course. It's just like the broom closet. If you think you're done, you go back and try again. I'll jump down one more time. Whoa. 2 times infinity. We used to say that as kids. Oh yeah? Well, I would be double infinity. I would be triple infinity. Well, I would be like infinity. Well, I would be like double infinity.
Oh, for heaven. You see, I was right. The problem is you.
Yep.
The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time?
Shorter.
I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole. I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above.
Yeah, what? I guess I forgot to bring a spade. Just like Kingdom Come. It always takes me 20 hours of playtime to remember.
Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. I really do have so much more to show you and to talk. Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite.
Less infinite.
I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point
Partly
where it's no
infinite.
longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability and marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top,
Yes.
and we'll see if it gets any shorter.
We might. Yeah, this is the underground
There it
tunnels.
is. The shame of my lie has come to haunt me. Not only is the hole not infinite, but it's barely even a hole at this point. How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on. Is the, teleport button not working? You sure? Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago. Try it again.
Yeah, I will in just a second. I gotta plug in my keyboard. I got a warning that my keyboard has got low battery, and it appears in the same place as the achievements. And so I'm like, I got an achievement for what? But for having a keyboard
Still
that's
nothing.
not working.
Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
Yeah, I think it must be. Oh, this has echoes of the music in the desert. Oh. The cigarette butts. Well, that's not healthy. Ton ton. To infinity. And a little bit after that. Oh, yeah. Tell you what, give me the gym button in this one and you're up to $45. So now I got soundtrack. Change your reality.
My head's stronger. Now you're no longer using up the space of mine. My head's stronger.
Wow. And then this. Change yourself. Whoa. Now we're talking. Yeah, the music is making me nuts here. Holy cow.
Stanley? 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 Oh, good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley.
No.
Because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it.
Thought you were
don't want to
leaving.
miss a single moment. So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodle-pip.
Been trapped. I can't effing believe. There we go. Oh, man. Okay, so now we're back here. This is our
Here
start.
we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Okay. Yeah, now I can go back to the bucket here. I want to find out what that's all about. This is
The
really
common
fun.
complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart.
Oh.
It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
Okay.
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think
sure.
that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on and on, don't
Yeah,
they?
put a bunch of blue
All
paint in
this
there.
and
I'll have
more
a
awaits you
meltdown.
in the Stanley Parable too.
Oh, okay. I have a bucket. I still have a bucket. Do I do something with my bucket here? Is there no? This appears to be the only thing I can do in this room. Oh, there were more pathways that I didn't check. What? Oh, Victor, you missed the hole.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
That was the balloons. Gobsmacked. Exit. There was something else. There was a thing. There was a pathway towards something that said epilogue. I gotta try and figure out where that was. Is that over here, I think? No. No, this was self-contained. It was after I came out of here. Here! Go grab the collectible next. Oh, is that a thing? I saw that and I wasn't sure if you could actually... Where was that? Office decorations. Collectible. Damn it. I remember seeing collectible and I didn't do that. The button that says jump circle, mostly infinite hole. Oh, collectibles. That would be there. Oh yeah, okay. Can you find them? Can you collect them all? All right. Okay.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
What if a game like, for example, Assassin's Creed were to have exactly that same philosophy? Are all of these little dots, they better not sting me. Oh no, they're just stars. Oh! It's a figurine. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Oh, that's creepy as F. 06. It looks it looks all sad. Oh, that was the end of that one then.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
Absolutely tragic. I can't go back in and get more, can I? No. Oh, so you can try the different places. Now that... Oh, that's interesting. Okay, I'm gonna have to just go back and check everything here. No. Okay. All right, here we go. The infinite hole appears to be locked out. Well, we'll come back to that one maybe. It's like when they boarded up the broom closet. Balloons? Probably not. Oh, that one's also been shut off. No, here it is.
Come now, you've already made your choice. It's true that you chose badly, but we all have to move on from our mistakes.
All right. All right, well, we don't need the bucket for anything. I mean, there's no reason to go back there, right? Yeah, I think that was everything. Epilogue.
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Okay. Settings World Champion. Oh, can you... Okay. You only get in there if you got the achievement, maybe? Don't know. Won't have time to find everything here, but, exit. We'll try the exit. We'll see. I just got this damn bucket. Oh, here! Free achievement, merch, settings, Stanley, office, epilogue, collectibles. Yeah, okay. What's the name?
All right, have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
Okay. Okay.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience.
Please do. This is how they developed Anthem.
Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
All right.
I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of Okay, never mind.
Hey, give me a suit
Hold
that
on.
flies.
Let me do a
I'm in.
different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Whoa. Not gonna lie, that's pretty cool, actually. Actually, this is really, I'm impressed. I want to look around. Can't look around. Dang. I love the like drug-induced curvy thing. All right, so that's what we got. Cool. So was that the...
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay. I don't have my bucket. I feel a sense of unease and concern. The complexities and the potential philosophical ramifications.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Are unsettling me.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Okay. Thank you for the balloons. Oh, there's my bucket.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
I sure did. I gotta go check. All the computer monitors are off now. So...
Oh, please.
Okay.
Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that
so
all
they
that you
haven't
think an
disabled
achievement is
everything.
worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks.
Yeah, so...
Now, suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
Interesting. Sorry, I kind of have to mess with this here a little.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was
This is
simply the place
beautiful.
to be.
Oh, man. So this is gonna be... Oh. This is gonna be rewriting the entire frickin' game with bucket dialogue?
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
This is fun. So then if I wait here...
Truly, being here with the bucket was a grand adventure. Stanley reflected on all they'd been through together. First, walking through the door on the right. Then walking to the lounge. Then arriving at the lounge. What a thrilling journey the bucket had inspired.
Oh, God.
Perhaps this was where the bucket felt most truly at home. Here in the employee lounge. Perhaps it's the only place a bucket can even feel at home.
That's really impressive. As well as being deliberately cheap.
Stanley decided to
God.
just give the bucket absolutely as much time as it needed
Wow.
to be in the lounge. Clearly, the bucket and the employee lounge shared a special connection.
Wow. Yeah.
But finally, the bucket was done being in the lounge, and they took the first open door on their left to get back to business.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Oh my God. I'm so torn because I want to see the endings that we saw yesterday, but then I'm like, yeah, but there's so many other ones that I haven't seen, like the one on the walkway here, the several that come on the walkway here. Oh.
Good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Danger everywhere. Well, they took out that part altogether.
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past this point. Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
This is going to be like the video. Okay. Yeah.
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket.
Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin. Item 1. Is this a bucket? Incorrect. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket. Item 2. Is this a bucket? Correct. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Yeah, this is exactly right. Human captcha.
Item 3. Is this a bucket? Correct. This is a bucket. Item 4. Is this a bucket? What? Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor. It's an enormous machine that tills the earth. I thought this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible. Let's just move on to the next one.
Yeah, I saw that update come in. It was started and I paused it before I started the stream just in case.
Is this a bucket? Correct. This is a bucket.
Dude.
Item 6. Is this a bucket? Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
Both.
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
We are all buckets. I am the bucket by the name of Jim.
Okay, you and I both know there isn't anything here. And I don't appreciate the implication that nothing is a bucket when we both clearly know that a bucket is something, and therefore nothing could possibly be something. Unless, in your twisted mind, have you somehow convinced yourself that a bucket is nothing? Answer me straight, Stanley. Do you believe that nothing is a bucket? You know what? I'm too confused to even
There
sort
we
it out.
go, good.
I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift.
You should
Do
have a
any of
bucket.
us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket?
If you'd feel better
Stanley,
if you
I
had one.
can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely. Okay, here we go. What happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait,
Yes, everything
was
is a
everything a
bucket.
bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue. But it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Wow.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Okay.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
You know what, Sarah? That's a really good point. close enough. Should be able to get up there. Oh, it's preventing me. Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
We gotta do some in this direction, too.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
Yes, I'm sure it is. And then, for those of you who didn't see this yesterday, there is a note here about getting Chris out of the broom closet. And then, oh, look, a broom closet. I'm sure Chris is in here. He probably is this time.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy? It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh, no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
Man.
Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go. There. Now it's settled. No more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things.
There you go. Man, this must have been fun to rewrite.
All right, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate. You see, I feel that it works because the sticker is also a bucket. That way, if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself, ah, it's a bucket. There really is a wide variety of applications for this sticker.
Everything is a bucket. Everything.
You know what? I could take the name-calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the bucket, but now the broom closet is just giving us the silent treatment. And to be honest, I'm sick of the pettiness on display. You can stay here all you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies. Easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
Okay. I am presuming that we are done with this round. Yeah. Oh yeah, are you serious? Oh yeah, that's right, because that's... You have nothing now. Huh. Before I get here... Nothing. For some reason.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
I want to see how they changed the one down here. This is a really fascinating ending for me. Oh, look.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
I am finding that I am now 33 and a bit more percent more happy than I was when I started this game. Not sure why that is.
But Stanley just couldn't do it.
No.
He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk?
Indeed.
All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort.
Oh no.
And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious. He exclaimed, without my bucket, I've gone truly mad.
Oh, he
Where
has
is it?
lost his
I must
bucket.
find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me, the bucket.
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Oh my God!
Stanley, find me.
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then
Oh my
suddenly,
God.
he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
Oh my goodness.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Yeah, show me.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security,
way.
and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken
Wow.
his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself. My
Heck
life
yes.
kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
Oh my God. That is genius. But this is also a... there's a slight amount of risk here. Because the intensity of the extended bucket context you lose an enormous amount of it if you haven't already seen the first version. So new players coming in have not seen any of the other a very small handful of the real endings.
The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
This is wacky cool. Oh. Trust the completionist instinct. Oh my god, all of the boards have changed. Oh, this is they're I was going to say ripping off. They're tapping into Portal here real hard. Investigation, they feel pointless, to be honest. Weird spinning figures. Artists rendering employee 003 magnets. Oh, okay. Why floating? How many are there? Can we sell them? Do we need contracts for them? Saw one in the cargo room. Okay. There will be a reward for finding them all. Oh man, and this doesn't those of you who have played this before, if I quit before I'm done, do I have to replay all of the bucket content because it starts all the way from zero? Because I'm going to have to leave this thing running in the background for about a week. Is this some kind of game? Oh! Somewhere both red and blue. Okay, nearby a fireplace. All right. Five there be. Just take it from me. Lol, looks like 927. Okay. There will be cleaning of this wall required. Thank you and good luck. I managed to pick up sounds unusual to our regular office ambiances or local. What? Oh, managed to pick up sounds unusual to our regular office ambiances or local audio analysis. Triangulate data shows in all likelihood it's coming from a dark area behind a very warm place. What in the hell? This is nuts.
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers. If I did, you can guarantee we'd be in here for hours. But alas, no stickers.
Okay, so it'll preserve the context, so next time I start up the game, it'll know when I pick up the bucket that, okay, you've gone this far or something. That's what I'm hoping the no means.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
And checked out the bathroom up here. Oh, there. Money's for stealing, but not yours, of course. Say, that's a lovely purse.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, There really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley figs? Or what about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Oh, hurt me. My goodness, this is interesting. Same as before.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would. And he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk.
This one here.
Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Yes. Look.
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
Yes. Figlies.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
I'm torn between that and just, well, let me go a path not followed.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Oh, there's so many endings to go after here. Yeah, we'll go ahead and explore the negative path here.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
I was just thinking about that. I was thinking, on the other hand, maybe we'll jump over the edge here just because.
But just as Stanley was about to proceed further into the mind control facility, he tripped and fell over the railing and into the dark void below. Thankfully, he fell directly onto the bucket, which safely cushioned his fall. Now, what to do next, Stanley wondered. Stanley and the bucket could find no way out of this enormous pit, and so eventually they decided that the best thing to do would be to simply get comfortable down here. So they set up a little couch and relaxed. It really wasn't so bad down here, a bit cold perhaps. After some time had gone by, they installed a few shelves as well, and a sort of kitchenette that was useful for when the bucket was craving paninis. But it wasn't until the rugs and the standing lamps came in that it really started to feel like a home. In fact, after some time, Stanley realized that it had been ages since he had even thought of the mind control facility at all. He'd never gotten to fully explore what was up there, never been able to unearth the many mysteries of the mind control facility. This lack of closure began to eat at him. Soon he was dwelling on his regrets, and the state of their home slowly decayed as Stanley became withdrawn and neglected the cleaning. It unsettled the bucket deeply. Stanley wasn't usually like this. The bucket tried to reach out to him again and again, but to no avail. All Stanley could think about, all he could talk about, was going back, doing it over again, staying on the path. It was a mistake to leave the path. It was a mistake. It was a mistake. I need to do what the narrator says. I need to see the true ending. This made no sense at all to the bucket, which was simply trying to live its life down here as comfortably as possible. Yet Stanley was unconsolable. This isn't an ending. This is just a hole in the ground. The bucket sighed. True, it wasn't an ending. But it's where we happen to be. And maybe, possibly, if we accept the reality of things, maybe this will become an ending eventually. It's what the bucket was counting on. The two of them waited for a very long time.
Wow. I have, I'm going to do one more for the night. We're getting to the 3-hour mark, and I'm kind of pushing it a little. But for the brave people
All of his
who have been here
co-workers
before.
Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it? Is this Stanley's office?
I'm going to run, and because this is now fresh in my mind. He was down there in the hole, and the bucket wanted to stay there, but Stanley wanted to leave. And I was like, this is that thing with the narrator. And Stanley, well, I'm not going to give it away, but I'm going to go do it.
When Stanley came to a set
Without
of
the
two
bucket.
open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley
Just
knew
to
it
show you what
perfectly
I'm thinking about.
Perhaps he
if
wanted
you
to
haven't
stop
seen
by the
game yet.
employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Because we didn't do this.
Wow. Yes, this room. But eager to get back to business,
So we're gonna go all the way
Stanley
down
took the
to the
first open door on his
cargo
left.
landing, and then without the bucket, we're going to jump on that
Stanley
same...
was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look,
We're going
Stanley,
to jump
I
off
think
on
perhaps
the,
we've
on
gotten
the
off on the
corridor
wrong foot
here.
I'm not
Without the
sure,
bucket,
Henry,
it'll
really
let me
am.
into the original one.
I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side.
Okay.
Give me a chance.
All right.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Oi. I can't... Can I grab that one now?
You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler Anmarines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them. And now we have them all.
All of
You
them.
can't go back to when you had no Figler Anmarines. None of us can.
Name is getting better and better. Okay, I thought the red and blue might have been here, but I wasn't sure if they would let me do that without the bucket. Anyway, so we're going to go through the red door because we want to trigger the thing with the
Thank
narrator.
God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time?
The blue door is
problem is
funny
all
as
these
hell, too,
choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
I'll be honest, this particular ending broke me the first time I saw it.
What do we want? What are we looking for? Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
So here he is. It's the perfect place for the narrator. It's very beautiful. But I don't think it's what Stanley wants. Because he feels a little restless at this point, even though it's very beautiful. So I think we're going to go back.
No, wait. Where are you going? Right. Where were we?
So that was good that we came back. Except that I really didn't want to be here. So we're going to go.
Oh no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
Still don't like this. I mean, I like it.
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
This is grim.
Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing. No! Oh, thank God. You lived. You had me worried there for a moment. Now, can we please get back to the other room?
Not running as fast as I was. We'll go back here just a sec.
There. See? This is what you want. This is where we can both be happy. We really can. If we stop moving, we just have to stop moving.
This is where you want to be. That hurts. In the opposite direction. You got two beings that have will. And those two beings have will that are diametrically
Stanley,
opposing
go back.
each other.
There's nothing good that can come from this.
Grim.
No.
Grim stuff.
No, what do you do? Do you just not believe me? What can I say to convince you?
I've seen people play this, and I gotta tell you, a couple of streamers that I saw when they played this version, again, I haven't seen the new content, but they played this content, and they got to hear, there were a couple of them that were just absolutely laughing. It was hilarious that they were killing himself. They were killing themselves in order to destroy the narrator's dream and hope. And someone is going to have to explain to me what's so fucking funny about that, because I don't think it's funny at all. It's interesting, but this is not a humorous place here.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me? My God. Is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
Yeah. Except not really. Because Stanley's not killing himself because he wants to deny happiness to the narrator. That's the selfish way of looking at it. Stanley just can't be here, and he needs to go away. And Greg, your divorce, you're onto something, because sometimes we divorce people because we hate the other person. Sometimes we divorce them because we just can't be here anymore, for whatever the reason that might be.
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours.
There's no other way out of this ending, which you don't know when you first come into it, other than, you know, quit the game. But,
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
man. Yeah. Well, there's so much more to do. Including maybe trying that one on with the bucket. I don't know what they'll do with that one. It'd be interesting. But I found that interesting because Stanley jumped down and the bucket was happy about that. But then the bucket couldn't understand why Stanley wanted to go back to where things weren't okay, because things were so okay down in the hole. It's just that sometimes where you are isn't what determines whether things are okay or not. Sometimes things are okay for a while and then they stop being that way. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and let it go for the night, but I don't know. This was actually fun. Maybe I'll do my next weekend stream and just do a few more bucket things. We actually had a bunch of people here for a while that seemed to enjoy this, so we'll see. MPS, thank you, my friend. You have yourself a good night as well. Good to see you again, as always. Sarah, thank you so much for your contribution. Subutai, Makulio, everybody that came out. I really appreciate it. It's awesome having you guys here. So, hope to see y'all again in the near future. And in the meantime, you guys stay safe out there, okay? We need you around for a while longer yet. All right, take care. We'll see you soon. Yeah, I got you there.